This is Entertainment Checkpoint with Josh and Luke. We are doing our first video in the playlist, The Hype and the Letdown. And pretty much this is a playlist where we review games before they come out and then give you our opinions on them after they come out. Hopefully these videos will contain everything that you need to determine whether or not you want to buy this, if you want to play it, or even if you just want to screw it and say I'm not going to pre-order this anymore. We should have that information to make you make that decision.
I'd like to point out something. It's not a review if it hasn't come out yet. That's a preview.
Well, you know what? It came out 4 days ago. We're a little late. This is final weeks. I'm trying my best. So,
what is this game about, Luke?
So, this is Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, and it's a standalone expansion for Far Cry 3, which pretty much means you do not need Far Cry 3 to play this. You just need to go on Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, PC, and pay $15 for this game. And it is like 80s action movie video game love child that is all about tribute to the 80s music and the VHS and yeah, that's pretty much all I got. You can even tell by the cutscenes that this is just nothing like the Far Cry 3. The audio is incredible for this too. Now, I know Josh hasn't played this. I've played the first 20 minutes of this, but it's pretty fun. It feels like Far Cry in a weird way. Like, it has the same gameplay, but everything else is different. It has this kind of orange, blackish, retro hue to it. And it feels completely different at the same time, feeling familiar. And it's a really cool feeling. I think the campaign will last you around 5.5 to 6.5 hours, and it still has free roam, but the island is a lot smaller, obviously, than Far Cry 3. You're paying a lot less. But it's still really cool. Points can feel somewhat empty, but it still has a lot of cool features in it that I think you should check out. So,
Interesting.
thank you for that input. It's good to know. So you can tell by the cutscenes that they're just completely high when they made this game. We got next generation graphics, and they go back to the retro pixel frame kind of talking. There's actually a really cool scene coming up from... Josh, have you ever seen the original Predator?
I have seen the original.
You remember
Predator.
that scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger and the black guy grab hands and kind of shake? I know it's racist. I don't know his name. Dylan. There we go. It's Dylan, because Dylan always talks about how he has the same name as him.
Alright.
But I think I might have brought that up a few seconds too soon. You gotta wait for it. But essentially in this game you play as Colonel... Or no, I lied. You play as Sergeant Rex Colt, and you are a Mark IV Cyber Commando. And this game is technically set in the year 2007, which I think this would be pretty badass if this is what 2007 looked like, but this is essentially what their opinion of 2007 is from the 80s. And your main villain in this game is going to be Colonel Sloan, who is technically your former commando. And you're pretty much dropping on this island to go blow shit up and kill people and track down the colonel, which can be portrayed very well by the first instance of gameplay. You're on a minigun blowing shit up. You know it's gonna be a good game from there. What else have we got for you? Oh yeah, I thought this was cool. I was reading about this. This game was technically a way to blow off steam for the developers of Far Cry 3 once they finished the project, and they essentially loved it so much that they eventually brought this over to the game that you now see today. And I'm very glad they actually made it and decided not to scrap it.
And since they do love this game so much, the director actually is pushing for a sequel for Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon.
I did not know that. That would be incredible.
Yes.
Now, I have not finished this yet, but I imagine that it's only going to get better than what I've gotten to so far, and it's been pretty good so far.
And for those of you that are interested, some point in the game, I'm not telling you when, just so you go and play it, there is a graphic sex scene.
That would be the highlight of the game for you.
That is the highlight of every game for me.
Here we go. Predator. Remember that scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger and Dylan grab hands and shake and flex their muscles? That's all I think about when I see that. Perfect tribute to it.
Interesting.
Maybe I'm the only one that scene draws back to, but that's what I think of. And this is just a sheer moment in all like 80s action movies where the main character gears up, pulls his guns out, he gets ready to kick some ass. This is the highlight of all movies.
And I saw a throwing star and a short sword, so I'm now gonna go buy this game right now.
He also saw a guy scratch his nuts, which it doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
So,
So,
yes.
Luke, should we talk about achievements?
We should talk about achievements. And for achievements, this game actually has 19. It has 3 secret achievements and a handful of regular achievements that you get throughout, like completing missions, like that one that just popped up, which is just for getting to this point in the game. But there are also a shitload of achievements for collecting all the different collectibles in this game. There's actually quite a few. This game has garrisons you can take over, hostage rescues, VHS tapes you can collect, Carlisle's notes, which I'm not quite sure what they are, but you could still collect them, Predator's paths, and TV sets you can collect. And along with those, there are also some other achievements, and all these achievements have awesome names that pay tribute to those classic 80 movies. We have Running Man, which is after saving Darlin, enter combat mode with a dragon and return to stealth. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be badass. There's another achievement that paid tribute to Duke Nukem for any Duke Nukem fans out there, and that achievement is called Hail to the King, which is for reaching maximum level and becoming the ultimate badass. Oh, this brings up another point, is I love the tutorials in this game because they realize how much people hate them. And if you listen to the character during this, you can listen to how pissed he gets because they won't let him move and they're making him go through all this shit. They finally let him walk, which is good. But we'll see more of those later on, and it only gets better. So, pretty much drops you right in on the island. You don't have a gun right off the bat, and you can see me getting lost as I try to find the path. But you essentially have to start with melee kills, and if the game wants you to be stealthy at certain points, but you really don't have to. It pretty much gives you every opportunity to shoot someone in the face once you're detected. It just wants you to have fun. It's not necessarily supposed to be a challenging game. It's supposed to be more just blow off some steam, have some fun. But I'm sure you'll enjoy the takedowns, Josh. Make great use of the short swords.
Those takedowns are always awesome in the Far Cry 3 games.
And I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, but what you saw right there was you rip out their hearts, and that's essentially how you get XP in this game. You level up in this game through like kills and completing random objectives, and one of those ways to get points is to rip out people's hearts, which is really cool. And you see that instead of throwing rocks, you actually have throwing die, which if
throwing.
Yeah, you have dice that you can throw, and that's how you distract people.
Dice. Interesting.
I laughed my ass off when I first saw that. And, like original Far Cry 3, they still have the chain takedowns, which is one of my favorite features, and we'll get a glimpse of that right here. Great timing for the little pop-up tutorial.
Yes.
And, oh, you'll get to see something later on that I think you'll like too, and this is where you get your first glimpse of the pistol too, which is kind of reminds me of the, in a way, kind of reminds me of the RoboCop pistol, long barrel, kind of extended. So we're gonna work our way over. This is the tutorial part I was talking about, and you can go through and read these as the video goes, but they actually start out with giving you some helpful tips, and it just gets better from that point on. Pretty much goes through detection, fire and aiming your weapons, all that shit you need to worry about, which, I mean, if you've made it this far in the game, I'm pretty sure you got a decent grasp on this.
I'm not sure if I'd be able to make it through all those tutorials.
But you know how to throw the grenades. I actually didn't read that the first time. That's good to know. Tired of tutorials. That's where it gets better.
I just saw a tutorial. Are you tired of these tutorials?
Yeah, they had way too much fun making this game, which makes me really happy that this is going to turn out well. I mean, I'm not a lot of hype, and I'm pretty sure from the reviews I've seen, it's actually turned out really well. And we will actually have our own review of this game on our own custom rating scale. This will actually be the first game that will get one of our reviews, and that'll be up probably later this week, maybe next week at the latest. This is what Josh will like.
Throwing
Hell
stars,
yes.
that's
And you gotta flip off
and
the body.
flip them off.
Yeah, no, what's an action game without the middle finger at least every 5 minutes? And I try desperately to stay stealthful in this game, but it's just not gonna happen. I want effort for trying though. I gave it my best shot.
You suck at stealth.
God, like fuck it.
I remember our Splinter Cell gameplays.
Yeah, those never ended well. We're gonna forget about them though. Pretend they never happened. So, oh yeah, the name being Blood Dragon kind of makes you wonder where that name came from. There are actually blood dragons in this game, and from the pictures I've saw, they look pretty massive. I haven't seen one in the game yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
No, are they bloody?
They look red.
Are they bloody blood
They
dragons?
are orange.
They are red. Why not crimson dragons?
I'm not sure. You could send them a letter and ask about that.
I will do
Also,
that.
good time to mention is the healing in this game is pretty cool. Instead of the like bone breaking crap that you go through in Far Cry 3, you actually inject your arm. They have a bunch of random ones. And I'm gonna pull out the machine gun. If you see when I reload, it has some pretty awesome reload animation too. I'm not sure how long that'll be before that pops up. All the weapons seem pretty well balanced and powerful too. I haven't got a chance to run through most of them, but from what I've seen, they handle really well. And
I've seen, instead of blood, when you get shot, like blood going down your face, your vision gets all like staticky.
yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. And they really love to give you miniguns in this game. There is no lack of them. Pretty much around every corner there's something to blow up. And this game is free roam, but like we said, it's not as massive as the first Far Cry 3, but it still has a decent amount to explore in.
Can you fly that chopper?
I do not believe you can fly the chopper. I mean, to be fair, I didn't actually try to fly the chopper, so I'll give you that. You may, in fact, be able to fly the chopper. I'm going to go off a limb here and say that you can't fly the chopper, though. Just a guess.
Well, that sucks.
And if you look in the top left-hand corner, that's pretty much your level bar. You get experience for shooting people in the head and whatnot, and it'll give you progression and your little mission objectives in the side. And I'm not in...
This whole...
What was that?
This whole time I thought you got experience from being peaceful.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty much how you play all games, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Pretty
you
much.
can also see how you keep track of all your hearts in the bottom left-hand corner next to your map along with your syringes. And the hearts are essentially, like we said, you collect them from the bodies, and I think you essentially use them to buy upgrades.
So, is everybody in this game a cyborg like you, or... Because all I've been seeing is blue hearts.
Yeah, we're pretty much dealing with complete cyborg mayhem. Your
Complete cyborgs,
buddy's a
alright.
cyborg, you're a cyborg, everyone's a cyborg, even the president's a cyborg.
Cyborg?
Yeah, I can't say cyborg.
Is that like a cross? Is that like a cross between an iceberg
Yeah,
and a
it's
cyborg?
my new word. Can never...
You missed that throwing star, by the way.
Oh no, that guy just took a while to go down. You never miss with throwing stars. That is also the first different type of enemy you're going to see in this game. That is, in lack of a better term, this game's version of a heavy, and those are the reloading animations, which I think are awesome. I'll wait for it to pop up in a second. You'll see him twirl the magazine between his fingers like a beast.
That is very cool.
And then you can see me fail with a grenade.
Yeah, you almost blew yourself up with that one.
It worked on taking out that guy, though, and you can hit... I don't notice any difference between his heart and other hearts, so I'm assuming they're all just grouped into the same kind of bunch. Random up and knifing people without getting the cutscene doesn't really work too well either. Should be duly noted, not to try that.
So, is there any multiplayer in this game?
There is no multiplayer in this,
No,
which...
that's...
Yes, yeah, it
Depressing.
is somewhat sad. I would like to see some kind of cyborg multiplayer action, but I guess that'd be asking for just too much awesomeness in one DLC.
Well, maybe we'll get a DLC of the DLC for multiplayer. Or maybe even multiplayer in the sequel.
That would be pretty cool. I am looking forward
That
to a
would be.
sequel.
I'm looking forward to this game.
I really like when developers just let go. I mean, so many games coming out now are just focused on being gritty and serious. It's nice to have a little fun every now and then, which people tend to forget. That's the point of gaming. But it's nice to have a little vacation in gaming, so to speak, with this game.
I have read that this game is honestly the funniest game that you will ever play. So I'm actually looking forward to that too.
Yeah, their humor is awesome, and I think you're nope, I failed at that. But in a second, you're gonna see another drop takedown, which I thoroughly enjoyed. You can jump ridiculous. Oh, there's another healing. You do a little hand workout, make sure you're in shape. But you can jump ridiculously high in this game, and if you land on people just right, you get to do one of my favorite takedowns. Jump and stab.
Stab right in the back.
It should be noted also, since you're a cyborg in this game, you are immune to fall damage and drowning. Which I imagine is really helpful when you get later on in the game and try to explore, and don't have to worry about falling after those 40-foot drops.
And I believe the no fall damage, there's an achievement for that as well.
Really?
I don't remember where it is, but I think it's like 40 meters.
Fall 40 meters and not die. You gotta be pretty badass to do that. Oh, here we go. The achievement is derp.
Derp.
Jump down from 50 meters and it is worth 20 gamer score. Wow, that's a pretty hefty bunch for just jumping off a cliff. It should also be noted that there are achievements for killing dragons, and there are more than, it's not just one major dragon at the end as far as I know. I mean, there might be, but there are dragons scattered throughout the map because there are various achievements for killing a dragon with a bow, killing a dragon, or killing a handful of dragons. Yeah, there's an achievement called Dragon Slayer, which involves you killing 25 dragons, so don't worry about just killing one and hoping, or fearing that you may not be able to find another, because you'll be able to work that out. Ammo boxes are slightly different in this one, but they still kind of stick out. You won't have to worry about too much trouble there. And I think this is pretty much as far as we're going to go. I'm going to get into one more spot where we're going to have to go through a cutscene, and we're going to call it quits there. But is there any final comments you'd like to make on this, Josh?
I have not played this game yet. I'm looking forward to it, and it looks fucking badass.
I completely agree. You can't get much better than orange 80s retro classic music, badass, cyborg, dragon killing, explosion. No, that's all I got.
Yes.
It's rather interesting to listen to the 80s like drama go unfold along the lines of, I have to put my life on the line. Go on without me. No, I won't go on without you. You are gonna come and see your family again. And then the guy's like, I'll try my best. Then you're like, I'll protect you. That's pretty much how everyone talks in the 80s.
Well, I mean, that's the best way to talk.
Oh, of course.
I'm surprised we're not talking like that right now.
I feel like I'm gonna get a sore throat after trying that, so probably not gonna keep it up.
So I'm probably not gonna even start.
So, this is Entertainment Checkpoint, Luke and Josh, and have a good one.